Why don't you give us the headlines and what's changed relative to expectations going into next week?
Well, John, the biggest headline appearing to be that the White House is no longer planning to implement those sector-specific tariffs on April 2nd. As you know, these were tariffs against specific sectors that President Trump had singled out, including on autos, pharmaceuticals, lumber, and chips. To give you an example of how quickly this has changed, it was exactly 1 week ago today, March 17th, when President Trump told reporters coming back on Air Force One that we could have expected those sector-specific tariffs to be stacked on top of the reciprocal tariff plan. Now, at this moment, it does not appear that they are moving ahead with that on April 2nd, but it could come later. And then the other important part of this reporting is that it now appears that the broader reciprocal tariff plan could be pared back and that some countries could be excluded if they don't have tariffs on the U.S. or they run a trade surplus. Importantly, NEC Director Kevin Hassett said on Friday that he felt that markets needed to change their expectations because not every country cheats the U.S. with trade, as he said. But to be clear, that has not been the messaging until really last week when we saw Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent say that we could expect them to target the so-called Dirty 15, the top 15% of our trading partners that make up the bulk of the imbalance with the U.S. here. John, importantly, though, we should note that these tariffs could still result in levels not seen in the U.S. in decades, and this White House really is banking on tariffs bringing in revenue. But at the same time, this is considered to be a more tailored and narrowed down approach.